Welcome back, everybody, to Millennium Dawn, as I am playing as the nation of Poland here in this modern-day mod for Hearts of Iron 4. And if you didn't see the previous episodes, there is a link in the description that will take you back to the beginning. Let's go ahead and take a look at Poland as it exists right now, with all the territory that we've taken. We've also launched this little invasion of Georgia, which we captured, and that is what has led to a much more robust conflict, let's say, as we are now at war primarily with the UK and with Germany, but also with a number of smaller nations as well. And you can see overall that we are pretty heavily outnumbered, but the good thing we have going for us is that we have heavily fortified the border with Germany in anticipation of that. And Brazil has sent a number of divisions to help out. And Brazil is actually the ones who are attacking. You can see that there's a lot of German and UK divisions currently fighting together. And what we're going to hope for is an opportunity to actually propose peace at some point, because I have installed the Make Peace Not War mod, as well as the player-led peace conferences mod, which eventually should allow me the opportunity to offer a ceasefire. We just aren't far enough along into the conflict for that to happen. But let's go ahead and see what happens. Alright, so January 30th, 2024, and the Brits have actually landed some troops in Poland, so we're going to clean that up real quick. We held back 10 divisions specifically to cover the coast. So I'm going to put them over here, and then we're going to deal with that. I was actually starting to plan my own such invasion to land troops in Germany, but he got there first. So we're going to start establishing a naval supremacy so that he's not able to do this anymore, which I now have. But we just got to clean up the existing ones. That was a piece of cake. Didn't take long to do that. 17,000 are the casualties that I have suffered thus far. UK has suffered 25,000 casualties. Interestingly, I've only taken 404 against them. It's the Germans who have inflicted casualties on me, but I've also inflicted 16,000 on them. So overall, you can see the numbers. They're pretty good in my favor, but obviously he's got so many more men than I do. But let's go ahead and see if we can start setting up a naval landing somewhere like Rostock. That seems like it's probably the place to do it. It's the closest place that would have supply throughput. So it's going to take 40 days to plan it. I don't know how successful it'll be, but it's 10 divisions, so it's worth giving it a try. Well, this is rather interesting. Victor Svets, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, I apologize. Our latest mission over Poland was a great success for the Polish Air Force in more than one aspect. Reports have come in highlighting this heroic deed. Managed to outwit the German pilot Maximilian Weber, known as the Red Baron. Agent used himself as bait and lured the Red Baron into a trap where the Polish pilots were able to dive on the Red Baron's squadron. So very cool, a victory that we will all remember, and that gains 3% war support for us. So he's continuing to attack across the border, and we're continuing to inflict casualties on him when he does that. And you can see that he's having some organization issues in doing so. So we're going to watch those numbers continue to go up. So one issue we are definitely having is oil. We're getting dangerously low on fuel, so we're going to have to start trading for more. And we're trading for that primarily from Russia. Let's see where that puts us. All right, we're still losing fuel, so we obviously need more than that. A lot of that's because we're now using our Navy. There we go. So now we're headed in the right direction with fuel, so we'll start trading for more from the Russians while we can. Let's take a look and see where we're at on the preparations for our invasion. We've got 15 days to go. It's March 2024. Alright, so we're starting to see that they're having a little more success in hurling their units at me, and that's because they're damaging a lot of the forts, which is making it harder to defend. So I've actually pushed repairs on all the forts up to the forefront of our construction, and that should happen fairly quickly because forts don't take long to build in the first place. But it's time to launch this naval attack. Let's see whether or not we can have some success with this. Let's hope so. At the very least, it's going to draw... Oh, Vladimir Putin forms a new government. Still going strong there. At the very least, hopefully this is going to draw some of the attention off the border. by giving us a new front opened up, and you can see he does have some divisions there, and he's probably going to pour even more into the action. So hopefully we can break through this one division, establish a beachhead, so to speak, before he can drive me off by throwing more divisions into that territory. Let's speed time up here because it looks like we're winning. As long as he doesn't get more divisions, that's what concerns me. One division's one thing, but he throws 3 or 4 in there, and I'm going to have a hard time. Let's see how things are going. Still pretty good on the casualties. Looks like our armored cavalry brigades, their organization's staying pretty strong. But still, boy, that's a long time. I wonder if I could try to push through up here just to maybe help out with this. It's saying that's not a good idea. It's a superior enemy, so we're not going to do that. We're just going to have to hope we can get a breakthrough. He's starting to attack more and more along the line. Investment offer from France. All right, cool. All right, the good news is we managed to land our troops successfully behind the lines. The bad news is he did, in fact, break through in one spot down in southern Poland. So what we've got to do now is we've got to have a breakout here and take some territory to take the pressure off. We're going to, I think we'll kind of move out to this area right here. Let's give him something to think about. And hopefully we can push back in. Germany is called the United States as our enemy. Okay, so there's that. I believe that's what you call biting off more than you can chew. And here comes the world into this fight. Let's take a look at that now. Now look at the numbers. Oh, good night. We've got Albania, Belgium, Bulgaria, Croatia, France, Niger, Germany, Netherlands, Iceland, Latvia, Norway, Slovenia, United States, Slovakia, Portugal, and all the folks we were already at war with. All against little Poland. Yeah, that's... And they're still joining. Oh, and by the way, that means that we've suddenly got all these other nations that are invading our country. So... the good news is this may allow me to sue for peace because you can see all the places I can offer a ceasefire. And if we get to the place where they're at more than 49% surrender progress on me, I'll be able to sue for peace, and then hopefully we can end this thing. So that'll happen fairly quickly at this point. There it is. We're 50% toward capitulation. Why is it not showing it that way? Because we're definitely there. In fact, we're more than that at this point. Oh, well, that only works if the enemy is 49% toward capitulation. Obviously, we are nowhere near that. So, you can see the Turks. Looks like Bulgarians, Romanians, Slovenians. Everybody's getting in on the action. Even Niger joined the army, or joined the fight. So there's that. I was puppeted by who? Who was I puppeted by? I'm now a puppet to somebody. So it'll take some time for me to regain my freedom, and I did lose some significant territory. I lost Georgia, who gets their freedom back. It looks like, who's this? Nova Russia gets that territory. I did manage to keep most of Ukraine, so that's awesome. I wasn't expecting that to happen. All right, well, there's that. So now we've got to kind of rethink what we're going to do, but look at all those armies everywhere. So now we're back to elections, and we're almost kind of starting from scratch. So now, unfortunately, what's going to happen is we've got to completely rebuild our military, as we have no military at this point. All the men went back into the manpower pool. So we're going to start recruiting once again. The good news is that now we can build just the units that we want with the manpower and with the supplies that we've got. The bad news is it's going to take a while to queue those up. We're also a satellite, and it's going to take a long time for us to regain our autonomy. But we'll start rebuilding, and we will see where this all takes us. So we now have the newest attack helicopters, 2015 helicopters, so we can start building those now. You can see how many of certain things we have, and therefore don't need to be building them. But I guess for now, we'll work on building up our air power, building up our sea power a little bit, kind of see where we go. Well, that's a big, big deal. China declared war on the Republic of China, which would be what we call Taiwan. And this has long been a concern in the West because obviously that could potentially draw powers like the United States into conflict with China. So I'm going to be curious to see if anybody else joins that war. If we end up seeing the kind of world war that could potentially turn into. So right now it's showing as Lithuania, China, or Taiwan, United States, and then Poland in the Sino-American War. I guess we're in it because we're a puppet of the United States at this point. So, well, that's kind of a big deal. Call to arms. All right, so the U.S. wants us to go to war against China, Russia, Somalia. I don't have an army, guys. I don't have an army. You took my army away from me. But this is World War III. I mean, this is totally World War III. Lithuania has already capitulated. That's exactly what would happen to me if I had gone to war. You can see that the U.S. has troops on my border. Looks like the U.K. is probably going to rush them over there as well. But man, did that go south in a hurry. China pivots toward India now. My goodness, this is going to get so bloody so fast. Let's take a look at this war. You can see the numbers on each side. Already substantially more casualties for the U.S. than for China and the others. But you got Russia and China on one side. I don't see how the U.S. could win a war like that without basically the entire world on their side otherwise. But it doesn't look like it's happening so far. U.S. is once again issuing the call to arms. I guess I'll go ahead and accept. We'll see if that leads to further powers getting involved. I only have 3 divisions right now. But we'll go ahead and, I guess, throw them up there on the border. Actually, this is all Russian here, so we're going to have to throw them up there. Hopefully the U.S. sends some support, because otherwise we are in serious, serious trouble in a hurry. Anyone? Bueller? America? Can you help us? Please? Who else can I rush into the field? Okay, I can rush 5 more into the field. Gonna need them. That still doesn't give me enough. Maybe I can slow them down, though. I don't even have enough to cover the whole area there. Let's see if we can go on the offensive. I do still have my Navy, so that's good. We're also working on whatever national focuses we have left. There aren't that many. Riots against the government. Let's do it, nationalists. Alright, let's try to push back on the Russians. See if we can at least slow them down a little bit. What's happening here? China wants permission to establish military bases in our territory. Yes, please. Wait, China's my enemy in this, aren't they? Oh, no, it's Republic of China. That's Taiwan. I keep forgetting. Lithuania, non-aggression pact. They don't even really exist right now, Lithuania, because they were taken over by the Russians. Alright, let's queue up as many of these as we can so we can rush them into the field even if they don't have enough equipment. We could just use the divisions. Okay, there's at least 1 American division. Do I still have my air power is the question. It looks like I've got some. Some 1965 attack helicopters. Lovely. Let's throw them out there. Anything's better than nothing. Get some close air support going on here. And now the Russians are going to start pouring more troops into the area. Looks like our Navy won a victory. We sank 2 Russian cruisers, a Russian corvette, and a convoy as well. That's a convoy raider result. What's happening there? Alright. Hang on, boys. Hang on. Oh, boy. Non-aggression pact with Taiwan. How quickly? We have to get these to, I think, 20% training before they can hit the field. It's going to be a little while. We have joined NATO together under our master. And with that, now we're going to have major things happening. Because obviously that adds a whole new component to this war with NATO being at war with Russia and China. In the meantime, we are getting seriously overrun. I'm just hoping I can get some of these units into the field in time to be able to hold the line here somewhere. All right, everything changes now because here comes the UK and Germany pouring troops into the fight. Iceland, Hungary. What now, Russia? What now? The folks who were very recently my enemies are now going to bail me the heck out. So we're just going to sit back and watch the divisions pour in to our territory and get it back. We are definitely in the midst of World War III now. Look at the numbers. 3 fielded manpower, 3 million fielded manpower. Holy cow. I can't even keep up with all the nations that are joining. And you can see the casualties already 500,000. It's going to climb so quickly now. Yes, bring back the territory. I can't even keep track of all this. I'll just let it go for a little while and we'll see how it looks. September 2024. We're going to rush these units into the field now. And we're going to use those to help with the mop-up operation in these areas that are now behind the lines. Most of my Polish territory has now been restored to me. So let's use our 16 divisions. Actually, we're not going to do that. We're just gonna take them and go. Gonna retake Krakow, destroy some Russian divisions in the process, and do our little part to help end the war. Get some Lend-Lease in the meantime from Germany and France. Perfect. And that takes care of all those Russian divisions. Alright, so we've got all our territory back. And now we get to go on the offensive. Lithuania's got their territory back. Here's the situation. 300,000 losses on our side. Nearly 600,000 on the China and Russia side. And Russia's starting to lose some territory. We'll see how that goes. And we're going to do our part to participate in that. Just because maybe we can gain some territory in the end. Although, as a puppet of the U.S., I don't know exactly how that all works. I'm not gonna issue any specific orders. I'm just gonna kind of go and just try to take some territory. So our little piece of the attack is gonna happen right here. We're gonna try to move on Rostov eventually, but right now we start by going after these tank brigades right here in Taganrog. Now we're still waiting for more of our forces to get in position. So right now the attack's not being real successful, unfortunately. There we go. Overall, let's see how the war's going. It's actually still pretty even, but the numbers are certainly on our side, both in terms of fielded manpower and also the losses that have been suffered. Russia's really kind of on the front lines of this whole thing, and they're the ones most likely to lose territory rather than China. You can kind of see where the front lines are at the moment. Latvia's taking territory there. There's going to be a drive on Moscow at some point. Maybe that's where we ought to be sending our forces, is to help with that. I'm thinking we might redeploy over here and help drive on Moscow. We see now that the enemy's losses have now topped 1 million, which is a significant chunk of what they've actually got in the field at the moment. I have to think that that's going to eventually pile up, but you also have to be surprised that an army that includes China and Russia only has 1.5 to 2 million fielded manpower. I would expect China to have significantly more than that. Russia's lost 645,000 men, most of it to the United States, who have lost 215,000 of their own. So to put that in perspective, for the United States, that's half as many as were lost during World War II. Obviously, for China and Russia, that is nowhere close to what they lost during World War II. Their numbers were in the tens of millions between them. We're not quite ready to launch any attacks here. I'm kind of content to let my army sit back and build up for now, especially since so many other nations are sending me equipment. The problem is I don't have the convoys to be able to handle it. We need 350 of them. Well, take a look at what's happening over here, because the United States has actually landed on the eastern coast of Asia. So they are taking on a joint Chinese-Russian border right here. And it looks like it's going pretty well. And Russia and China have a few divisions there, but not a lot. Meanwhile, there's a real push going on right now out of Nova Russia and out of Poland on toward Moscow. Latvia, Estonia push. There's a push coming from Norway as well. And you can see American troops up there as well as some Spanish divisions that are in at least one German division. Overall, 600,000 losses, over 4 million now fielded on our allies' side. Compare that to less than half of that number and 1.28 million in losses, so 2-to-1 casualty rate at the moment. Nobody else besides the United States has lost anywhere as near that many. Taiwan lost 200,000 before they were knocked out of the war. But the next highest you got Germany was 6,000. Turkey's lost 29,000. Romania's lost 5,000. Norway's lost 6,000. It's our turn to get involved, and we finally got some units on the front lines, and we are helping to drive the Russians back. Over here, you can see the drive toward Moscow is really fully on now. I'm going to try to divert some of my divisions back this way temporarily, see if we can destroy these Russians that we've got in this pocket back here. It's always a good idea to try and do that. You can see there's some issues with supply happening at the front lines, and that's one of the things that's hurting. But Russia seems to be collapsing. The front from Norway is advancing rapidly. The fronts from Poland, Nova Russia, and elsewhere, everything's collapsing. I think it's only a matter of time for the Russians now. Let's see where they're at. Long way to go to get them to capitulation, but the war's definitely turned. And you can see now the fielded manpower up to almost 4.5 million on our side, where it remains relatively static for the enemy. I think that's all the new divisions. Maybe not. Alright. I'm going to get in here and destroy these guys in the pocket, but I'm more concerned about seeing the drive on Moscow unfold. And I think once that happens, it might be a good spot to wrap up. I know it's a short episode, but it's taken me a long time to record it because there's so much going on that I have to sit through. And Millennium Dawn, as you can see with the sheer number of divisions, it starts to bog down the system more and more as you get further along in the process. We got to deal with some of these pockets in the rear. Alright, we're definitely going to collapse this pocket first. But this one's not far behind. You can see both of them are about to fall. There's just a couple of divisions. There's one division here. He's gone. Now we can actually help out with this one here. There's 5 divisions, 3 Chinese divisions, 2 Russian in this pocket. And as those things collapse, it just makes it easier to win the war because you're destroying enemy divisions that are no longer going to be in the field to defend the front lines. 735,000 losses now, We've lost 12,000 men in this fight. We've only got 1% of the war participation, but that's okay. Every little bit helps. Russia's lost 1 million men. China's lost 622,000. That other pocket has completely collapsed now. So now we're going to send everybody we've got left to Bryansk so we can finish that one off. And you can see now how things are just rapidly deteriorating for the Russians. Let's look and see what's happening on the Eastern Front. Actually, that seems to be collapsing on the United States. It's not going nearly as well as it was. But it's almost all Chinese divisions now. You can see there aren't too many Russian divisions. He's obviously sent most of those in a desperate attempt to try and hold the West.
Oh my God!
This is definitely going to change the world order, that's for sure. Theresa May reelected. I think I saw that Donald Trump was reelected in the United States as well, so I guess he's on a third term at this point. Got messed up a little bit on our zoom here. There we go. Alright, we're just about to take Bryansk. It's really been holding out for far too long. Only 3 divisions in there now. And now that Bryansk has fallen, that's only going to more rapidly cause the fall of Moscow. And we're going to decide where to put our troops. South Ossetia has capitulated. I think we're going to put our front line, our 30 divisions, right along here. And then let's see if we can draw a spearhead. Up into Moscow and take it. Most of our divisions aren't in place yet, but that's okay. Got a lot of research going on, primarily working on new types of planes. Alright, boys. I would love for my troops to be among the first to enter the city when Moscow falls. Now you can really see the extent to which Russia's in trouble. There's such a huge front that they have to cover. And now you can see, are these Kazakhstan units? Yeah, Kazakhstan's marching into southern Russia. So just collapse all the way along the line. It's actually pretty static here right now. And the main reason is not because we don't have the units, because you can see how few they're defending with compared to what's attacking. The issue is supply. Look at how many of these units, at least mine, just can't do anything. But also French divisions, American divisions, because of the lack of supply right now. So supply is what's keeping us from being able to make the final push on Moscow. But the good news is that everywhere else it's going really well, except for in the east, where the United States has actually lost a good chunk of the territory that they held. Actually, they're starting to push back a little bit. All right, though the war is not over, it seems to be dragging on for quite a long time. So we're going to go ahead and wrap it up right there as we're starting toward the gates of Moscow. Let me know your thoughts about all of that, and we'll come back in a couple of days with another episode. Hit that like button if you would, and we'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching.